friends, my name is Victoria and welcome back to another video. Remember when I abandoned you guys for a good 3 months? Want to pretend that didn't happen? Okay, so I was gone for a bit, clearly, and I'm really sorry. I was basically just super busy. I also thought I looked pretty unattractive for a while. Not that I think doesn't really matter. I was just doing a lot of things, but I'm back now. It's Thanksgiving break and I have free time and I thought maybe we can talk about something again. The difference today, though, if it hasn't already become immediately obvious, is that I'm not using a script. The main reason a lot of my videos take so long is because I like to write everything out and make sure everything sounds good, and I do a lot of research and so I thought maybe I should just talk today. I might not end up posting this because if you just let me speak, it's typically a problem and I can feel the problem already, but I thought it's worth a try. I thought I could use my time today to talk about something that I've become obsessed with since the last time you saw me, and that is my favorite band of all time, Greta Van Fleet. Here's a clip from my last video when that started. I also wanted to briefly say, because I don't know where else to say it, I started listening to Greta Van Fleet recently. My life has improved significantly. Every song feels like what I can only imagine is heaven. It's like a whole new kind of magical. Really good they are. I really like Greta Van Fleet. That's really funny to watch just because at that point I had only heard of them for a few days, and now it's 3 months later and they are essentially my entire life. I have reached the point where my parents want to kill me, my friends want to kill me, essentially anyone who has ever been within 10 feet of me has had to hear about Greta Van Fleet because it's everything, and I thought, why keep bothering them? Not like they're entirely off the hook, but for today, what if I just talked to my camera for an hour about the magic that is this band? I don't know if this will be good, but I think it will be funny. At the very least, it has to be somewhat entertaining to see me entirely off my rocker. So let's get started. There is no timeline to this video. It's definitely going to be all over the place, but I think it makes the most sense to just start with when I first found them. I think even people who don't know who Greta Van Fleet are probably familiar with their SNL performance because it was blowing up on TikTok a while ago because everyone was making fun of it. That was when I first saw them, but honestly, I saw the trend and then it kind of went over my head. I processed the fact that I was watching it, but I didn't actively look at who they were after that. So the day I actually found them or listened to one of their songs in its entirety was August 29th. I was on TikTok and then I got this ad for Greta Van Fleet and they were promoting their song Heat Above. The video only had a snippet of the chorus, but I was very immediately captivated because I don't know if you're familiar with the band if you're watching this, but Josh Kiska, who is the lead singer, has a voice that is unreal. It's unlike anything in the entire world, and Heat Above is definitely one of the coolest sounding songs in terms of his voice, and I was just very interested. And then I found it on Spotify and I spent the whole day just kind of looping that song. And then after a few hours of just looping that song, I thought I should probably listen to what else they have to offer. And so then what I listened to from there was the entirety of the album that song was featured on, and that's The Battle at Garden's Gate. It's the best thing that has ever happened to me, and listening to it was unreal. I mean, listening to it now is unreal, but listening to it for the first time felt like something I had never done before, which, I mean, it was something I had never done before. But to this day, whenever I'm trying to get one of my friends into the band, which is rarely successful, I show them Heat Above, and they usually do like it, just because I think it's their best song, which is weird because it's not even my favorite song. My favorite song is Light My Love, and we can get into that, but Heat Above is definitely one of their coolest soundings. And as I said, this video has no timeline, so while we're on the topic of Heat Above, I'm going to talk about a cool full circle moment that happened when I heard that song live. Yeah, so I saw Greta Van Fleet live on October 27th at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles. It was the coolest night of my life, and I'm still in awe of the fact that happened for a lot of reasons, but mainly because that was my first concert, and I've known this band for, at that point, 2 months barely. And there are so many artists that prior to Greta Van Fleet I was very much obsessed with. Not that I don't like them as much anymore, but Declan McKenna was always my biggest artist, and I never saw him live. And Harry Styles I bought tickets to 2 years ago, but I didn't see him until after that, which was November 17th or something. It's a big thing. But essentially my first concert was my favorite band of all time, Greta Van Fleet, and it was amazing. And the first song they played was Heat Above. And I thought that was insane because that was the song that got me into them. And then it was the song I heard live for the first time. And that was insane. And my dad, who took me to the concert, says that he had like never seen me as happy as I was there, which doesn't say a lot about my joy overall as a person, but it does mean that that was a good night. I would say that my reaction to Heat Above was like the largest because aside from the full circle thing like I told you about, that was when they walked out, and that was insane because literally before they had even gotten on the stage, I was freaking out because I could see like Sam's Mellotron and Danny's drum kit, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna be like right there, and then they came out in person and I was in awe. I think they're a phenomenal group of people, believe it or not. And so that was pretty cool. But I would say my second biggest reaction, or like the song that I was next most excited to hear, was Light My Love, because that song has become an insanely important thing to me. And that's a conversation we can have now, I guess. Light My Love is probably my favorite Greta Van Fleet song, and they don't have a bad song, so I mean, does that even mean anything really? I don't know. What I love about it is how it captures feminine energy. I mean, that's how like they've described it. They kind of relate it to like, you know, womanhood. And for me, that's like a love song I listen to, and it's like there are so many love songs that like no matter who's singing it or who it's about, it can kind of apply to anybody. But for me, Light My Love is a song that like has to be about women. I don't know why that is. That just seems to be the way it was written for me. And so when I hear it, it kind of like, I don't know, it's like I associate like my maturity with it. And this is embarrassing because there's no way I'm making sense. Basically, it's just a song that has a lot of meaning to me because I feel like the time I found Greta Van Fleet was a time in which I sort of grew up a bit. I mean, I doubt you're watching this and like able to tell a difference because if anything, my lack of a script today is making me come across as less mature than usual, but I feel like I felt a difference. I like that song and it's a big deal for me, so hearing it live was insane. So this can kind of lead into another discussion, I guess, but like because of all that meaning that Light My Love has for me, I want to get its symbol tattooed because if you weren't aware, every song on the album has a little logo, and like I'm obsessed with that because I'm really into like, I don't know if tangible is the word, but like I love like symbolizing things, and so I was obsessed with the logos when I found them on the album. And Light My Love is really pretty and everything, so like I thought it would be insane as a tattoo, and I've always wanted an ankle tattoo or like something small. I thought Light My Love would be insane, especially because it has all this meaning for me. And so what I did, since I'm not 18 yet, I got one of those ink box tattoos, which is essentially like a temporary tattoo company, and you can like upload any photo and then you can get a tattoo of it. And so I got one and I put it on my ankle, and you'll have to take my word for it because I don't really want to put my foot on the internet, but I got one of those and I've been like obsessed with it, and I really want it in real life when my birthday comes around. It doesn't seem like it'll happen because my mom is very opposed to tattoos, and my dad isn't entirely opposed to tattoos, but he's opposed to the idea of having a band tattooed on me because he said that like a few years from now, you know, they could be revealed to be racist or something. And admittedly, that's always a concern. I mean, I know it's a Greta Van Fleet tattoo, but I don't really associate, like the song is different from the band, and we don't need to get into it. The point is maybe one day I'll have an ankle tattoo of Light My Love. You'll never know. Well, you might know, but whatever. So Heat Above and Light My Love are probably the main two on the album for me, but the entirety of the Battle at Garden's Gate is insane. Stardust Chords is another favorite of mine. The Weight of Dreams was insane live, but also insane on the album. Controversial take, My Way Soon doesn't fit on this album. Doesn't mean it's a bad song, but it does not fit the vibe of everything else. It seems like it would be more fitting for From the Fires or Anthem of the Peaceful Army, maybe. I don't have physical copies of those, but I'm hoping I can get them soon. They're on my Christmas list. I guess the next thing we can talk about is the amount of money I've spent on these guys, because it might be concerning. So obviously the concert was the biggest thing. Since I discovered them August 29th, the Strange Horizons tour, which was the one I went to, was already like announced and going, and so trying to find tickets was difficult. When I first checked, they were all in like 200, 300 range, and that was like for cheap ones. And so I was under the assumption that I was not going to the concert, and I was really upset because they were near where I live. I live in California. And so I really wanted to see them, but I just didn't think I had the chance. And so what I ended up doing is my dad and I, like the week before the concert, we kept checking because prices started to drop like the closer the date got. And then I ended up getting some for a pretty good price. And I had not the best seats, but I mean, for me, like, you know, the seats were the last thing I cared about. Like, just being there was insane. And I ended up seeing everything really well, and it was just like awesome. But you know, I did spend a good amount of money on that. And then of course, while I was there, I got a shirt. Here's a picture of me and my shirt. It's a nice shirt. I wore it yesterday. So just like general merch stuff I spent money on. But then recently Greta Van Fleet announced that they were making vinyls of different nights of the Strange Horizons tour. And so they're selling a vinyl of the Los Angeles show that I went to, and I don't own a record player, but they're not releasing that anywhere else, and I need to relive that experience. And so I did purchase a $40 vinyl of the Los Angeles Strange Horizons show, not even knowing how I'm gonna listen to it, but that's the least of my concerns. I'm just happy I got it. I'm also really excited about one thing I ordered that's supposed to get here in a few weeks, and that's the Weight of Dreams necklace. They actually like just removed it from their website, so you might not have heard of it, but it's essentially a necklace that has every single logo and song name on it, like really small. And it's just gorgeous, and I'm gonna wear it every day because, like I said, I like symbolic, tangible things, and like for me to be able to wear this album that means the entire world to me is kind of crazy, so I'm excited about that. If it were up to me, I would have spent a lot more money on these guys to see their next tour, which is Dreams in Gold 2022. When they announced the dates, I was like praying that there would be anything remotely close to me. There's nothing remotely close to me. And so I tried to convince my parents that, you know, we need to take a trip to Michigan or something, but they're not for it. So I will not be traveling the world to follow this band, but I would love to see that concert if I could. I don't really have a smooth transition for this, but another thing I want to talk about before I close off is just like the intensity in which this obsession has taken place, because I'm sure you can maybe take a guess, but essentially this is the only album I play in the car ever. My parents despise me. Around the time I first got it, I took a car ride with my best friend, and I was really excited to show him like every song, and then it turns out he was actually playing Kanye West in his AirPods the whole time and was pretending to enjoy it. So that's, you know, kind of where I'm at. On Spotify, they are my #1 artist as of right now. I'm really scared for Spotify Wrapped to come out because I know it's just gonna be Greta Van Fleet, but I basically just loop them constantly. I do kind of have a tendency to like hyperfixate on things for a while before it kind of subsides. What's an example? Oh, there was a period of time, maybe like a good 2 weeks, in which I only watched High School Musical 2, and I would like watch it multiple times a day, and that is done with. I don't like High School Musical 2 any less than I did. I just am not obsessed with it to the point that it needs to take up my entire life. And so when I first started talking about Greta Van Fleet, a lot of my friends were like, this is gonna last a few weeks and then it'll be over. It's been 3 months and it's still going strong. I'm sure there will be a point in which Greta Van Fleet isn't the only thing I feel the need to talk about ever, but as of right now, you know, they're just my favorite band and I love their music, and I can't imagine not loving their music, although I'm sure there will be a day in which it cools down, and I think everyone I know is looking forward to that, in all honesty. Anyways, I could talk about this for a while, but I have a party to get to later, and God forbid I talk any longer than I actually have. It's just, you know, this is a big thing for me, and I kind of needed to get it out because, you know, I can tell everyone around me is very, very tired of me. And so I thought this might be effective. I once again apologize for being gone for a bit, and I apologize that this was messy because, again, I didn't really have time to script it. I just thought maybe I should talk, but I know that this isn't my typical content. And so there will be a day in which my videos are somewhat normal again, maybe, and you can look forward to that. Possibly. But if you stuck around for this, I really appreciate it, because, you know, no one else can. Or this isn't meant to be like, you know, whatever. I very much appreciate you watching, and I will be seeing you. Bye! I just want to be the first one to say that Andrew Garfield's gonna get an Oscar for Tick, Tick, Boom. He's a cool guy and a good singer. And Lin-Manuel Miranda is incredible. Thank you.